guys, today we are reviewing Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Let's get into it. Hey guys, so here we have today's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is written by Tom King with art by Bill Evely, colors by Matthias Lopez, and lettering by Clayton Coles. The series originally released from 2021 to 2022, and it was an 8-issue limited series from DC Comics. Now, continuity-wise, this is pretty easy to get into. This is set within DC's main comic continuity around the Infinite Frontier area, but honestly, it reads like a standalone story. You don't need to read 10 other books before this. You don't need to know every single thing going on in DC. You can honestly just pick this up, understand the story, and still get a full emotional journey from beginning to end. This is also a really important book right now because the story heavily inspired the 2026 Supergirl movie coming out, I believe, this June. The movie may not be a one-to-one adaptation, but this is the book that heavily shaped the version of Kara, the cosmic journey, and the darker, more emotional look of Supergirl. So the standard paperback version has around 224 pages, and that one usually goes around for $16 to $20 depending where you get it. But DC also released this story in their compact comics format for only $9.99, which is honestly a great deal if you just want the story in a smaller, low-cost version. But what I have here is the deluxe edition hardcover, and this thing is beautiful. This version is oversized. It gives the artwork more room to breathe. Like, look at that, guys. I'm not gonna go too much because I don't want to spoil it for you. But wow, look at this artwork, guys. Lord have mercy. Is that not beautiful? And it also comes with extra material than the standard paperback does. All these things, like these notes. Oh my god, look at the concept sketches. Wow, and these are all variants as well. So look at this too. So if this is stuff you're into, I mean, you might want to look into the deluxe edition. So if you love the story, or if you care about the art as much as the writing, this is definitely the version that feels more premium. Now looking at the book itself, I love the dust jacket. Just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It has this really clean finish to it, sleek, and I especially love the black. It gives the book this darker, almost space fantasy feeling before you even open it. It feels elegant, like look at that with the light, like oh my god, is that not cool? Also has like this cool space fantasy even before you open it, like look at that. Isn't that awesome? And then under the dust jacket, you get this image of Supergirl at a very important part of the story. I'm not going to get into what the moment means yet because we will talk spoilers later, but I love when hardcovers actually give you something under the dust jacket. It makes the book feel more special, like there's another layer to it. And here's the back. Beautiful, beautiful. And I tell you this, I was actually kind of nervous going into this book because I really didn't know like if I liked the art style, but I got fairly used to it very quickly and it was gorgeous, especially with the coloring. And then here's the spine. Great spine, great spine. Beautiful, beautiful. Now getting into the story itself, this is going to be a non-spoilers free talk first. So at the start of the story, we follow Ruthie, who is one of our many main characters. So the book starts with Ruthie going through this horrible event that completely shifts her life from that point forward. Because of that, she crosses paths with Supergirl, and the two of them end up finding a common cause. That is basically the bare bones of the story without spoiling it for you guys. You know, it's like a young girl who wants revenge, and Supergirl gets pulled into her journey, and they travel across space together chasing down the same foe. But what made me love this book was not just the plot, it was the depth. This book expresses loss, pain, grief, anger, revenge, and how much damage suppression can cause when you do not deal with what is hurting you. It is action-packed, yes. They go on these crazy, fun, dangerous adventures, as you see here, looking like Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force. Bruh. There are tons of wild planets as well. Like, look at this, guys. We're dealing with dinosaurs. Who would ever thought we'd be dealing with dinosaurs in 2026? But they do a great job at it. So yeah, they go on strange planets, strange towns, monsters, there's battles, and moments where you really feel the scale of this universe. But at the same time, Tom King knows how to balance the fun with these serious moments beautifully. One second the story can feel like this wild space adventure, and then the next second it hits you with something really sad and human. For example, here we have a very pivotal moment where we are no longer having the giddy, fun adventures with Supergirl and Ruthie. Here we see Supergirl going through a very sad moment in her history. And because of that, this has to be one of my favorite Supergirl stories, and honestly, this is one of the stories that made me really like the character. Because what I love about Supergirl is that she is not just Superman as a woman. Kara is different from Clark. Clark lost Krypton, but he was just a baby. He did not really remember it. Earth essentially became his home. The Kents became his family, and humanity shaped him. But Kara remembers Krypton. She remembers her people. She remembers her family. She remembers what she lost. She's way more connected to Krypton than she is to Earth, and that makes her pain feel different. Superman's hope feels pure because he was raised with it. Supergirl's hope feels more rough, like it was harder for her to earn because she had to survive so much and still chose to be good. And that is what makes her so interesting here. And if you're gonna ask me, I feel like Ruthie and Kara are mirrors of each other in a lot of ways. Both of them have lost something, both of them are carrying anger, both of them are hurt. And through this journey, they both end up teaching each other something. Ruthie learns from Supergirl, but Supergirl also learns from Ruthie. And by the end, both of them have to face what they are carrying inside. And without spoiling anything, this is what makes the book so powerful. It's not just about punching villains in space. It is about what revenge does to you. It's about how grief can turn into hate. It's about trying to stay good in a universe that keeps giving you reasons to not be. And now, we are going to talk some spoilers. So if you have not read the book yet, you might want to skip, look at the top corner and skip to that timestamp to see where I rate the book. Okay, spoilers. Wow, so this book immediately starts off with a bang. We open with Ruthie basically explaining how her father was killed by Krem of the Yellow Hills, and right away, the story pulls you in. Her father is murdered. Krem runs away, and Ruthie's entire life becomes about revenge. She does not want peace. She does not want comfort. She wants Krem dead. I was like, God. I'm like, girl, you ain't playing no games. Like, you little YN high key. Like, what are we doing? Bruh. And that's how she ends up crossing paths with Supergirl. Drunk, because, Supergirl out here wilding, Hey, we all have them days. What follows is this never-ending wild journey across space. Ruthie, Supergirl, and Krypto go after Krem, and the story becomes the mix of revenge western, fantasy adventure, space epic, and an emotional character study. It's honestly insane how much this book fits in only 8 issues. I don't know how they did that. One of the first things that shocked the crap out of me was when Krypto got shot. Yo, Krem was a diamond in this dang book, bro. Like, he didn't care. He said anybody can get it. These hands are E for everyone. I was not ready for this moment, because Krypto is such an innocent character, and seeing him hurt like that immediately made the story feel far more serious, and there was actual stakes put on the line. It showed that this was not just going to be a fun Supergirl adventure. At least to me, there was going to be some real consequences and some real pain. And it also gave Kara another reason to keep going, because now this was not just Ruthie's mission anymore. This became personal for Supergirl too. And throughout the book, I love Supergirl's strength. Not just her physical strength, but her mental and emotional strength. Yes, she can fight. Yes, she can take hits. Yes, she's powerful. But the real strength is that after everything she has been through, she is still the person she is. She still tries to do the right thing. She still tries to protect people. She still believes in some kind of good, even when you can tell that belief hurts her. And if you ask me, that's just beautiful to me. Because she really doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to be this person. There you go with Kara going into her Phoenix form. Like, what? Who knew she could be doing all this, girl? I'm like, damn, girl. She might be some comp. Sidebar, but also, the different planets they visit are also drawn so beautifully. For example, look at this. And the characters that they just make, the designs, I mean, gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my God. Mr. Evely's artwork and Matheus Lopez's colors make space feel huge. Every location feels different. You are not just looking at empty space backgrounds. You are looking at worlds that feel alive. The towns, look at the creatures, the ships, the skies, the planets, everything feels like it has history. Going back a little, I have to say, one of the craziest visual moments is when Supergirl takes the red kryptonite encased in dissolved lead. When that happens, she becomes this almost Phoenix-like form, like we said before, and I thought that was so badass. It felt powerful, but also kind of scary, like Kara's body and mind were being pushed into something unnatural. It's one of those moments where the art just goes crazy. I mean, I don't even need words. I might be dyslexic. What? That was crazy. Look at this, y'all. But what I really do love here is the smaller details, like Supergirl teaching Ruthie to wash her hands. This might sound like such a small thing, but it says so much. Ruthie is the angry, hurt girl who had been thrown into violence and revenge, and Supergirl still takes the time to teach her something basic, something caring, something almost motherly. It shows that Kara is not just trying to help Ruthie survive physically, she's also trying to keep Ruthie human. She's trying to keep her from becoming just another person swallowed by hate, because both of them are carrying tragedy. Ruthie lost her father, Kara lost Krypton. Ruthie is chasing Krem, but in a way, Kara has also spent her life chasing what happened to her. They both have anger in their hearts. They both know what it feels like to have something stolen from them. And the question becomes, what do you do with that pain? Do you let it control you? Do you let it turn you into something ugly? Or do you find a way to keep going without losing yourself? And I think that's just a powerful thing that Tom King achieved. that he makes you as a reader ask that question. And then you can debate that amongst other readers. Because everybody has a different answer. Everybody has a different perspective and experience when it comes to that. And then we get to Maypool. If I pronounce that wrong, please let me know in the comments. I'm sorry. But yeah, Maypool is a very interesting town. Like, I mean, very interesting. It's given, you know what I'm talking about. Bruh. Okay, my bad. I got a side eye. The whole section with the purple people was insane. We learn about how the purple people were seen as less than, forced into the worst living conditions, and treated like they didn't even matter. And then Krem joins the Brigands. If that's how you say that, I don't know. And the deal that they make is to free him from jail, which then leads to a massacre of the purple people. Yo, let's see if we can find it, yo, because when I saw that, guys, my freaking jaw was on the floor. I was surprised that DC went that dark. Not really, because DC can be dark, but that was dark. I mean, for this kind of book, I was not expecting that. That part hit hard because it's not just some random comic book evil. It speaks to society as a whole. It shows how prejudice, corruption, and power can work together to destroy people who are already being treated as less. And seeing how that affects Ruthie and Supergirl makes the story feel bigger than just revenge. It becomes about systems. It becomes about the way people justify cruelty. It becomes about how evil is not always one man with a sword. Sometimes evil is a whole town deciding certain people do not matter. And then we have this super small moment where Supergirl helps this elderly alien, I forget the name, but she basically helps her with the farming work. And I just love this part because it's such a sweet window into Kara's character because she doesn't have to do this. She's not on a mission. She is chasing someone dangerous, but she still stops to help someone who needs help. This is Supergirl. That is the character. She is hurt. She is tired. She's carrying so much, but she still chooses kindness when she can. And then we get to this planet where Supergirl basically runs into a red sun. And if you guys don't know what that is, it weakens Kryptonians, especially after a long amount of exposure. I mean, Superman was barely able to survive, and Supergirl had to wait till the sun went down, so it was not an easy feat for her. And this is honestly one of my more favorite parts of the book, because Supergirl is weak. Her powers are basically gone. Now Ruthie has to build up her own bravery and courage. She cannot just rely on Supergirl to save her. She has to survive too. And I love this because sometimes I get tired of how comics always rely on kryptonite to weaken these Kryptonians. It was honestly nice to see something different. A red sun makes sense. It is already part of Superman and Supergirl's lore, but here it feels fresh because it forces Kara and Ruthie into a situation where they have to work with what they have. And Ruthie killing the dinosaur, that really shocked me. I was like, damn, girl, get that badass energy, girl. Like, you don't let, what the hell? Like, you don't let him mess with you? Yo, look at that, bruh. Look at that, bruh. She ain't playing no games. Like, what do y'all think we on? This was such a big moment for a character, as it showed her willingness to survive, but also showed how violent this journey is making her. She is not just some innocent child being dragged along anymore like in the beginning. She is now becoming harder. She is becoming someone who can kill if she has to. But then Supergirl using the little strength she has to laser the dinosaur and save Ruthie was such a pivotal moment. Even weak, even hurting, even barely able to function, Kara still protects. That is her instinct. That is who she is. And here, Krem throws an orb that sends Supergirl into this cosmic nightmare, basically throwing her beyond what should be possible, and she calls upon Comet. And Comet runs to the end of the universe, which is crazy. I mean, I don't know why no one ever talks about that. This whole section feels mythical. It feels like the story becomes a legend being told across time. It's not just Supergirl flies fast, it feels bigger than that. It feels like a fairy tale almost, like a sad, beautiful space myth. Because who the heck would believe that? Then when we get to Supergirl's origin, this is where the book really made me look at her differently as a character. We see the day Krypton died. We see her mother. We see the radiation poisoning. We see how Kara worked on the lead shields that Zor-El made as a solution against the radiation poisoning. We see that she was not just hopeless. She was working. She was trying. She was alone. She was a child being forced to deal with the end of the world. I mean, I couldn't imagine that, y'all. Like, I'll be having a heart attack when I don't have my phone charged. Bruh. So, like, what? How's she doing all that? And I think that's what makes her hope different from Superman's. Superman is hope because he was raised with love and taught to see the best in people. Supergirl is hope because she saw the worst thing imaginable and still chooses not to become hateful. Her father sending her away and telling her to be good is such a powerful idea because that is the weight she carries Be good after everything, after loss, after pain, after watching your world die slowly. Be good. And that's not easy. And then we have here, Kara returns, and Krem is obviously surprised, and they finally capture him. And this is basically where the ending really starts to become powerful, in my opinion. They hold Krem against the tree, and Supergirl goes to handle, the gang Krem rolled with right here. And Comet stays behind to watch Ruthie and make sure she does not kill Krem, because, Ruthie be a demon. She a YN, she a freaking Hall of Fame threat. You know what I mean? But Supergirl starts basically struggling because of the weapons they have and the numbers that they have on her. I mean, she can only do so much, you know what I'm saying? And with how wide the universe is, people eventually start to have contingencies for Kryptonians. But then, eventually Comet leaves because he trusts Ruthie not to kill. And here we have Comet coming in to aid and help Supergirl, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, it cost him. And this reveal was freaking shocking. But back on the planet, Krem starts to try to get in Ruthie's head. He instigates her. He tries to push her. And Ruthie, instead of just killing him while he's tied up, she frees him so they can have a fair fight. I mean, this girl has some balls, bro, because I would not be doing that. My boy, you're just getting sliced. But this is where she basically goes on demon timing. Like, she's kicking him. She's biting him. She's fighting, like, viciously. And even cuts the man's fingers off. Like, what? Look at this, guys. This shocked me so much, yo. And it was brutal. But also kind of badass because this little girl has been carrying this rage the whole story, and now it is finally coming out. And you can really see that by the way she's fighting this man. I mean, she ain't holding nothing back. And that was powerful. But then, after everything, after the whole journey, after all the sacrifice, after all this pain, she cannot find it in herself to kill Krem. And this was deep, dude, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know where this was gonna go, because she could have killed him. And then we would have had a whole different story. Or she could have done what she did here. Because Ruthie not killing Krem does not mean she forgives him. It does not mean what he did was okay. It does not mean her father's death suddenly hurts less. It means she finally realizes that killing him will not give her back what she lost. It will not bring her father home. It will not undo the journey. It will not heal the hole inside her. It would only make her cross a line that she may never come back from. And honestly, this kind of goes into what Batman's whole ideology is with killing, which is very interesting, but that's a topic for another video. But for Ruthie, this is huge, because the whole story, she thinks that revenge is the thing that's keeping her alive. But in that moment, she realizes revenge might be the thing that's destroying her. And then here, we have Supergirl. She finally returns holding Comet, who is now revealed to be a man, which we learn that he has been cursed to live in the body of a horse. And it is heavily alluded, in my opinion, that he may have loved Supergirl, which is why he told her this. But that was such a strange but emotional reveal, and it added another layer of sadness to this story. I'm like, Jesus, Lord have mercy. This story's powerful, bro. And then we learned Krypto was fine all along. Like, Supergirl was just a gaslighting liar. Like, what the heck? I was like, yo, Supergirl, I've been with you up in day one, by your side, ready to crash out. And here you go telling me, yo, your little doggy dog is cool. He barking all it up. Like, he over there getting in a dang treat. So yeah, Supergirl lied. And at first, this honestly sounds crazy, but then you understand why she did it. Kara knew Ruthie was stubborn. She knew Ruthie would not learn that killing is wrong just because Supergirl told her that. Ruthie had to go on this journey. She had to see the cost. She had to live with the weight of revenge long enough to understand what it was doing to her. Supergirl knew Ruthie would spend her whole life chasing Krem, dreaming about revenge, the same way Kara dreams about Krypton. And that is what makes the moment so sad. Supergirl says she hoped Ruthie would learn something, but she feels like maybe she failed because she herself still dreams of Krypton. Bars! Like, wow, dude. Literal chills. Like, what a great line. And I mean, it just makes you really think. This whole moment, which is powerful, because Supergirl is not speaking from a place of being above Ruthie. She's not acting like she has everything figured out. She's admiring that she is still hurt too. She's still haunted. She is still carrying her own grief. And that is where Ruthie starts to understand what Supergirl was really trying to teach her. She realizes Kara was trying to show her good from bad, but in the process, Ruthie had almost lost herself. And then Ruthie finally hears her own voice. Soft but firm, and she understands that even if death feels deserved for someone as rotten as Krem, that does not mean it is the right thing to do. So when Supergirl is about to deliver the final blow, Ruthie screams out that she learned it right there. Right there, y'all. Right there. She stops her. Like, what a powerful moment. And this moment is just beautiful in my opinion. And here we have Ruthie basically recapping the whole journey they've been on and how it's taught her so much. She realizes that Grace did not die with her father. Enough killing has been done. Someone has survived the storm, and instead of asking for death, she asked for punishment for Krem. A grave for Supergirl's horse and company with Crypto. And then Supergirl gives this small but powerful line. Ruthie, it's too big, we're too small. This line touched me because I feel like we have all felt like this in life. We have all had something that felt too big, something that made us angry, hateful, bitter, vengeful, something that made us feel small. And this story teaches that you cannot let that consume you. You cannot let pain turn you into something you are not. You cannot lose hope just because the world gives you reasons to. You still have to try to be good, not because it's easy, but because it matters. And then next in the story, we get this time jump, right? With Ruthie as an old woman. I mean, Jesus, Ruthie, what happened to the skincare routine? And Supergirl's talking to her. And a little cool thing, they actually talk about Ruthie's books and the things she's written. And here, we finally learn what happened to Krem. Here, Krem was actually sent to the Phantom Zone. Damn, yo, they might not kill the man, but damn did they screw the man. This dude ain't ever seen his family. He ain't ever even having a family. This man can't get KFC ever again. He's cooked. Bruh. And he was sent to the Phantom Zone. Like, that was crazy. Like, oh my god. But what a great twist and punishment. And here Supergirl says that for the first 100 years or so, he was screaming and still nasty and bitter. Then during the second 100 years, he seemed to calm down. And for the last 100 years, he seemed to have a real change of heart, trying to make up for all the damage he had caused. And then Supergirl had another amazing line. Just goes to show you, there's always hope. Like, damn, girl, this woman was cooking, bro. Get her for president. I'm joking. All right. Let me move on. Being serious though, that line just shows you how powerful Supergirl is as a character. After everything she had seen, after everything she has lost, after everything she has endured, she still never gives up on hope. And I love how her hope feels so much different than Superman's. I have to keep saying that. I mean, because Superman's hope just feels so bright and pure, while Supergirl's hope feels more human to me. It feels like someone who has been given every reason to give up, every reason to hate, every reason to stop caring, but still chooses to care anyway. It's just beautiful. But going on with the story, they eventually release Krem, and he asks if it's over, his suffering. He says it was long. He says he's thought of nothing but Ruthie and her father. He apologizes. He begs for forgiveness. And what does Ruthie do? This girl simply just rocks his shit. You know what I mean? She just gives him a 1-2 Conor McGregor. And then she just walks away like a baddie. You know what I mean? Like, she is that girl. Like, period. It was just a great ending. Like, I mean, I don't know. I would almost say that is dang near perfect. Because Ruthie does not kill him. She does not have to become him. She does not let revenge own her life anymore. But she also does not pretend everything's okay. She does not owe him forgiveness just because he suffered, just because he asked. She gives him one punch and then she leaves. That is such a Ruthie ending. And overall, this story is just beautiful. So, Supergirl Woman Tomorrow is basically action-packed, emotional, kind of weird, dark, funny, tragic, and hopeful all at the same time. It has some crazy space adventures, beautiful artwork, great character moments and development, and a story that actually says something. It's about revenge, but more than that, it is about what revenge caused. It is about grief, but more than that, it's about learning how to live after grief. It is about hope, but not the easy kind of hope. It is about the kind of hope you have to fight for, and that's why I love this book. It made me appreciate Supergirl so much more. It showed me that Kara is not just Superman's cousin, not just an extension of Superman, how so many people like to say. She is her own character with her own pain, her own strength, her own trauma, and her own kind of hope. And honestly, another beautiful thing is the artwork. It's just stunning. I have to give all credit to the artwork, the letterers, the editors, the writers. Everything about this book, I want to give all my flowers to. The writing is emotional. Ruthie's narration gives the story this almost legendary feeling. I know people have criticized that, and I can understand where they're coming from, but for me personally, it was amazing. It felt like we're hearing about Supergirl from someone whose life was changed by her forever. And by the end, I really felt that. This is not just one of my favorite Supergirl stories. This is one of those DC stories that reminds me why I love comics. Because when comics are done right, they can be fun, weird, heartbreaking, beautiful, and meaningful all at once. So yeah, for me, Supergirl Woman Tomorrow is absolutely worth reading, especially before the 2026 movie coming out this June. Whether you get the standard paperback, the compact edition, or the deluxe hardcover, this story, I think, every DC fan should check out. And if you are someone who never really cared about Supergirl before, this might be the book that changes that. I mean, I cared about Supergirl, don't get me wrong, but this book definitely made me a way stronger fan of the character. Now, what would I rate this book? Man, that is hard. I'm going to go from a scale out of 1 to 10. I honestly would give it a good 8 to 8.4. I don't really know if that matters. Well, you know, let's say 8 to 8.5. I think 8.4 is like a bit of a threat number, so I'm not sure why I did that. But 8 to 8.5. It was really good. I loved it, and it was a different kind of book. It really felt unique. I've never read a comic quite like this. So guys, please check it out if you can. If you're looking for a more affordable version, go check out the compacts, or you can get a Kindle version of this story for $6.99. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. So, you know, that's another option for you guys if you need something affordable. But guys, I want to thank you for watching. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.